Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. Today's gonna be just a little bit different because I'm gonna be doing a nail fill tutorial. I want to note too that I am not a nail technician. I am not a professional. I've self-taught myself from YouTube videos and just from what I've watched nail professionals do on my nails. So please go online and read safety procedures for doing your nails, just so you can learn a little bit more about the process, learn about the different nail files and everything so you know what you're using. I think that is so important, and just try to be as safe and sanitary as possible. Keep in mind that this is the first time I've ever filmed a nail tutorial, so sometimes I accidentally cover up the camera unintentionally. I'm going to be showing you how I filled with this color. This is like a really pretty smoky gray. I hope that you enjoy it and I hope it helps. I'm going to list down below all the products that I use. I got them all from Amazon, so everything is going to be super easy to find, hopefully. Some of them are going to be an optional thing, so hopefully I'll try to remember to mention those in the voiceover as well if I get a chance. If not, then just don't buy the things that you don't want. A lot of the colors that I have, there's so many colors on there, and for the brushes and stuff, there's so many different styles. I have a fluffy brush that I use to dust the powder off my nails. That is so optional and extra. You do not need that. I just thought it was fun because that's what they do at the salon sometimes. So I wanted to recreate this experience at home for myself as much as I can because I do really enjoy going to get my nails done. It's just too expensive, and so doing it this way, you can save yourself so much money in the long run. Instead of paying $50, $60, $70, however much you pay to go get your nails done, buy all of this stuff. It lasts for years, so it'll be worth it if you want to learn. If this isn't something you feel like you can tackle and you just want to watch, thank you so much for watching. That's so sweet of you. And for those of you that do want to try and tackle this, just remember it takes time to get good. It took almost a year for me to finally feel really comfortable doing my nails, and even then I still feel like I could use so much more practice. I tried as hard as I could to just ask my friends and family and be like, hey, can I do your nails for you? Just to get some more practice, but it is really time consuming. When I first started, it probably took me 2 to 3 hours, if not longer, just to really learn. It's so much easier with the poly gel though, so I highly recommend that over the acrylic. Definitely recommend. I hope you have fun with this though. Just take your time and enjoy it. The end result is so much fun. So I hope you love this. If you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I do post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so I hope to see you back at 11 a.m. on those days. Enjoy watching. So we have our file ready. This is an electric file. What we're going to do is just remove the top layer of the nail, because this is a fill, so I had the previous gel nail on there plus the gel polish that was on top, so we need to file off all the top coat of that polish and file around the base of the nail, get off anything that's kind of getting old, growing out. There is a little bit of a ridge towards the base of the nail. You can see that on my other fingertips right now. So we need to file that down and just make it smooth, so that way when we fill the nail with new gel, it can be on a nice smooth surface. It just makes everything a lot easier. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is just completely file the top of the nail. Be careful when you file. You don't want the speed to be too slow or too quick. You want to be able to have a nice amount of pressure, but not too much. If you put too much pressure, that creates more friction, which in turn is actually going to create a heat spot on your nail, and those are really painful. So you just need to be gentle. I also file down the top of the nail quite heavily. I do push really hard on that because you're not going to feel sensitivity versus when you're on the top of the nail bed. So when you're filing down the very top, just to make your nail not as long, you can push pretty hard. I'm going to just go ahead and do the rest of my nails now. There's that fluffy brush that I was talking about. I told you that was a little bit extra. You definitely don't really need to use that. I just think it's fun, so I like to. Next, we're going to take a just regular nail file, and I like to sharpen up the edges, really make the tip of your nail super flat. I like to file it down even more if I want to. This step is important because next we're going to apply the poly gel, and so you really need to make sure that you have a good foundation down as far as your nail shape and everything. It's just going to make everything so much easier later when we start shaping it. Before we apply the polygel, I'm going to apply a little bit of this pH bond. This is going to take any oils off of your nail and just really help the polygel to just stick to your nail. So that's going to create less chances of it lifting and less chances of it cracking and chipping off or anything like that. Right, so I'm going to move my light over because we're going to need this now. This UV light is one that I was gifted a long time ago, but I will list down below one that I would repurchase if I needed to replace that one. We do need a little bit of alcohol in a little cup. Now you want to use something that you don't care gets ruined, so kind of just pick something old. You can even just use like a plastic cup if you wanted to. Super easy. You don't need to use like an actual like ceramic little bowl. The alcohol is going to be able to wet your brush so you can shape the polygel. If you go in with a dry brush, it's just going to be sticky and all over the place. So now we're just going to take a little bit of that polygel. This is the one that I like to use. It's really inexpensive from Amazon. Lasts so long. Just going to put some on the nail, set it aside, and start forming. So I usually push fairly hard and just kind of do like patting motions along with like brush stroke swooping motions, kind of trying to push that back towards your cuticle. You don't want to get it completely on your cuticle, but push it as close as you can and try to create a smooth, flat surface so that way when it starts growing in, you won't have too much of an edge. That's how you can really tell that a nail technician is fairly good, is because when it grows in, it's actually smooth and flush with your nail instead of having an abrupt edge that will catch on your hair and stuff like that. That is definitely something that takes a lot of practice. Make sure you get all along the edges. You can remove excess if you need to. That's going to be pretty common. I also like to pat the top of the nail once I get close to that, so that way it can kind of just make it flush along with the top of the nail as well. This takes a little bit, so just be patient and take your time. You don't have to rush when you use polygel because it's not going to harden until we put it in the UV light. So you have time, which is so nice. So just use as much as you need, really get the shape you want, make sure there's not any bumps and stuff. And then we're going to cure it under the light. Mine is actually a 2 to 2.5 minute timer. That's so long. The new ones are 30 seconds to a minute, so I would definitely recommend the newer ones. Saves so much time. You're just not going to be taking as long. You want to save as much time as you can because this is definitely a time-consuming process. So I'm going to just do the rest of my nails and then we're going to cure all of those too. I like to start with my thumb because your thumb is at an angle when you have it flat in the UV light, so things can kind of tend to move. So if you do your thumbs first, that can allow them to just be flat in the UV light. So that's going to help you avoid any like ripples or bubbles that you could possibly get. The same goes with the gel polish. I always do my thumbs first, so that way there's no chance of any like ripples happening. Once it happens once, you know you never want it to happen again, so just be careful. So now the nails, after I cured them in the UV light, they are solid, good to go. You can touch them. We're going to file it down now. So I like to just use my hand file for this again. File the top off. It is a little bit tacky, so I just like to file that all away. Make sure there isn't any bumps or anything like that. They're looking good. This step is optional. Your file comes with a lot more additional little tools. So I like to use this like rounded yet pointy one to file underneath because the natural nail grows in there and I think that look is gross. So I like to file that down and kind of clean up under there because a lot of germs can build up. So I file that all away so it's kind of like a clean slate. This is optional. You don't have to do this, but I really like to. And I have a buffer brush to just kind of smooth down the surface even more. This is optional too. You don't have to do this, but I like to. So now I'm actually going to get rid of this paper towel. There's so much nail dust on there. So toss that out, put down a fresh one for this next step for painting the polish. I'm going to choose this color. It's a super pretty kind of stormy gray. This is from the brand Gellen. I really love this brand. I bought a kit in the very beginning that came with the base coat and the top coat, so super convenient. We're going to put down the pH bond once more just on the thumbs. We're doing the thumbs first, remember? So we're going to apply the bond, and then next we're going to go in with the base. You don't have to be as careful with the base and the top coat, but we still want to make sure we try and get it everywhere. Try to be careful and not get it on your skin. If you do, definitely wipe it off because it can tend to burn when you have it in the UV light. So now we're going to cure that. And now we get to go in with the color. So we're going to apply this beautiful stormy gray. I like to get the tip of the nail too. That's completely up to you, optional. Now once you feel like you have a good even layer, like I said, yeah, clean up the nail. You don't want any of that extra on your skin. We're going to cure that now. Gotta apply another coat. I like to apply 2 to 3 coats depending on how sheer I want it or how like deep I want the color. It definitely depends on how many layers that you put. For this one, we did put 2 layers. So after that thumb is done, I didn't apply the top coat on the thumb yet. The color is the most important thing that you don't want to ripple. The top coat you can just apply later. So we're just going to do the other fingers, and then when those fingers are ready to get the top coat, we'll just apply that on the thumb too. I applied a sparkle to my ring finger too. If you wanted to do that, I recommend applying the same amount of coats of color to all the nails and then just doing an additional coat of the sparkles, curing it, and then applying the top coat. It does make the process a little longer, but I like the additional sparkle. Once they're done curing, they are completely done. So you can touch them. They're not going to be tacky. It does depend on which polish you get though. Read the instructions. Some of them do say you need to wipe it off after you apply the top coat. This one was one that you didn't need to. I am so in love with this color, especially those sparkles. So pretty. Well, that was it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it's not like the most perfect video in the world. Hopefully in the future I can get someone over here to do a new full set. I usually do just fill my nails now that I have like the structure down and everything, so I don't do a full set very often unless a nail completely falls off. So if I get a friend here who wants me to do her nails and she is okay with me filming her hands, then I might post that video later on. But in the meantime, there's this one. I hope you loved it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you did. I will see you back on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Have a great day, you guys.